real African stories and real African experiences. This is the Legally Clueless video series. And in this episode, you'll hear a story by the first Black African female hot air balloon pilot, Captain Smilez.
I remember it was September 2007 when I went to Masai Mara for the first time as a hotel and hospitality intern. So I was there October, November, December, and then the clashes started. So business went low, so there was not much to do. Some people were sent home, but because we were training and interns, they were just like, okay, you stay. So some trainees were staying, which I think it was a very good thing, because when you're training, you go home and then, it's better you continue the work. So I was among the people who stayed, and I remember February 5th. That's when my now husband came to visit his dad. His dad is a retired hot air balloon pilot. And they had come to visit him. His mom was also there. And I was not on shift. I think it was like the next day when I saw him, and I was just like, you look nice. What's up? And I invited him to a checkout party, because some people were being sent home when the clashes started. And normally in hospitality industry, whenever someone is going home on leave or leaving because change of locations, we always do like a checkout goodbye party. So I invited him for a checkout party, and one thing led to another one, and it's been 13 years. Yeah, he was into ballooning as well, but he was living in Germany at that time and working in an insurance company, health insurance company. And when he was doing ballooning, he was only doing it in Germany and in Europe, England, Spain, just for fun. After he went back to Germany, and he one time he just said, like, I can't stop thinking about you. And I like your vibe, you're such good spirit, and positive vibes and all that. And I was just like, I feel you, I feel the same about myself, so we could actually do this. He asked me to go visit him in May. And I went there because I was out of internship, no job, no school, so I could stay for 3 months. And I stayed there for 3 months and to get to know him. And I found out he's a really cool dude. And I was just like, yeah, actually, I can marry this one. And my life in Germany was quite different, especially these first 3 months, because they are a ballooning family. Yeah. The dad was a balloonist. His granddad was a balloonist. All our friends, a circle of our friends, were all balloonists. So basically the 3 months that I was in Germany, I was either trying to pretend I am studying German and learning how to speak this language, and cleaning the house kwa sababu tunataka kuolewa, and just waiting for my man to come home. But over the weekend, it was mostly going out early in the morning and coming back late in the evening. And that is when I was fascinated with it. But I really didn't think I was going to be a commercial hot air balloon pilot then in 2008. So at that time when I was in Germany, I was not feeling more like a balloon or something like that. Basically my idea was learn German, come back home, continue hospitality, working in the hospitality industry with an advantage of having a foreign language in it. After a year of long distance relationship, he just once said, like, you know what, it's getting expensive, which it was. It was getting expensive. And me, I was also like, I'm not feeling like I have a foot in life where I need to be. I'm just on my 20s, and this is the time that I really want to know where I am heading, because I only have 20 up to 30 to figure it out. After 30, you must have figured out your life, where you want to go, where your path is, where your dreams are. So he asked me to marry him, and we went and lived in Germany for 3 years. Okay, I said yes, I'm just like, oh yes, sawa bas. Because I was ready. And because I found in that aspect, it's because I found a soulmate. I found someone who makes me happy, someone who He does not mind my jokes. He does not mind when I am my blonde self. You know, when I say something and he's just like, that's silly, but it's cute. That kind of a husband. And I was just ready to go into Germany and start all over again, even if I have to go and study gastronomy or, you know, being a hotelier in Germany. I was ready. So plan was go to Germany, study the language for a year, make sure I have mastered speaking, writing, and reading German. I gave myself 12 months. I was like, by January, I left in January 2009. I was like, January 2010, I want to know how to read, write, and speak proper German. And that's what I did. And surrounding myself with balloonists over the weekend, it was also amazing. And at this time, it was about, let me say, like almost 2 years. And it's been 2 years of going out with my husband, flying with friends, and then, you know, doing, they always called balloon meets, but it's like basically balloon festivals. You go to festivals and you see hundreds of balloons taking off. To me, it's fascinating both to fly it and to just look at it, or even just to hear other people talking about it. It was like the experience in it. It's amazing. So this was about 2 years into it. And then my husband was also working on coming back to work in Kenya. His father was about to retire, and he was just like, oh, this is a cool position. You could actually just replace me. And we worked towards that for a whole year. One day he came home and told me, you know what, January 2012, tunarudi nyumbani. You know, it's like we're going back to Kenya. I was just like, excuse me, say that again. So we moved back in 2012, and my husband went to work in Masai Mara because that's the only place at that moment where you could fly hot air balloons. So that was 2012. And then mid-2012, we now started working permanently in Kenya. And I was quite happy. His work permit had gone through. I was like, yes, my work done. But every morning, I went out with him to fly. Just for the fun of it. I was like, I'm just going to go. It's fun. He's waking up early in the morning, 4:30 every day. When he comes back home at around 10, 11, I have so much energy. I want his attention. I want to talk to him. I want to plan with him. But at that time, he just wants to go and have a nap because he's been up since 4:30. So I felt like this is not working. Yeah, we started to have lots of disagreements because like he's like, I'm tired. I've been flying for every day for a week. And it is actually so tiresome. And it's like, I've been flying every day for a week. And then you need me to do this and that and that. Please give me a break, you know, something like that. And I was just like, it's not working. I need to find a balance here again. Something that he is going to enjoy, I'm going to enjoy, and still have our own time. So one time I just decided, you know what, I will, as long as I am able to, I will wake up every day with him, be on his time and be on his routine, you know. So I'll wake up at 4:30 with him and come back at 11 after he's back from work. So I will go on the balloon or just on the chase vehicle, because like I said, it's just quite fascinating to watch it just fly or fly it yourself. So, or just be on as a passenger. Yeah, so I did that for many years. I thought I would only do it for maybe a year or two, but I did it for about 4 years. Not that because he didn't have his foot, but it's because I was still struggling with where I want to be. So in 2015, that's 2013, 2014, the whole time when we moved to Kenya, there's someone who used to push me on like doing ballooning, because I think he just figured out like this one is not even doing what his half of her potential. She's wasting it. And that was my dad. So my dad has always wanted me to do well. Basically, I think every dad wants their daughters to do very well, especially in a sense that he always told me like, you're different. You know, of all my children, you're different. He wanted me to do other things, not so much girly things, tomboy things. We went to the garage, we fixed cars. We were building a car that I would one day, drive it as a rally driver, just like adrenaline, Those are the things that he really wanted me to do. And he now started telling me, you know what, tell Daniel to teach you how to fly. Me, I'm just like, Daddy, no, it is not mine. Me? Sidani, I don't think so. At that time, I was not even thinking like, you'll be the only woman, I must do what, all those things that come with it. I was not thinking, I was just like, this is not my work point, area of work. I don't want it. That's it, Daddy, forget it. Miniko tu sawa. And then he's like, okay, but me, I just think you should be a pilot. Just saying, and I brush it off. Sadly, I brushed it off for too long. And so in 2015, he passed away. And I cannot cut. It's not working. So for so long, he asked me, he basically a challenge. He used to challenge me. And it's like, you can't be a pilot. I was like, Dad, I can't. So I waited for too long, actually. And in 2015, March 2015, that's why it's a little bit, it's his anniversary as well, death anniversary of celebration. In March 2015, he passed away. And we knew he was going to pass away because he had cancer. But it was not, I could not do anything about it at that time. We were more concentrated on his health, making him comfortable and, saying our goodbyes. But I was not here. I was in Germany, actually. We had gone to Germany when he passed away. But when I left, I knew I might not find him. And he didn't want to go to hospital. After the doctor told him what was happening, he asked the doctor, we were all there, and he asked the doctor, do I need chemo? And the doctor said, yeah, everybody who has cancer needs chemo. And then he said, what is it for? And then the doctor said, you're going to get better? My dad asked, better that I can live longer, or better just for, for a bit? And then he said, the way the cancer has spread to your body, I don't think you're going to be any better, but you're going to be around for maybe a year or two. And then dad said, but with a lot of pain. He's like, yes, you'll have medications and stuff like that. So my dad said, okay, I don't want chemo. I've lived my life. And we were all shocked. He was just like, what? He was just like, yeah, look at my children. We were all there. My dad used to be so cool. It's like, look at my children. Look at all of them. They're all grown, okay? Yeah, then I'm done. I've lived mine. I need them to live theirs. And if I go for chemo, if I go for all those medications, I might just die leaving them broke or leave them with a lot of debts. And I don't want that. Of course, it was hard to take. It's basically he's made his decision. No matter what we say, no matter how we want to convince him, he's not going to change his mind. So he told the doctor, give me pain medications and I want to go home. And then the doctor said, if you go home, it's going to be about a month, not more. And he said, okay, fine. Then I'll come back in a month, And we went home, and then after that I went to Europe. I remember when I was just outside the door, he used to be an amazing guitar player. He played the guitar, he played Mugithi, those songs. And that evening, actually that's his last picture I took. And he was holding his guitar and he's playing, and then he's like, because he had stomach cancer, he says like, the stomach says no. It's too painful. I cannot continue anymore. So I was just like, it's fine, Daddy, it's fine. But that next morning we were leaving to go to Germany, and I didn't want to go. And I told him, I was like, Daddy, Mr. Kikwenda, I don't want to go. That man used to be my best friend. He was that kind of a dad to me. And I didn't want to leave because I knew the doctor had already said, and I was going to go for 3 weeks. And the doctor said, you only have a month. So I was like, hey, maze, staki kwenda. But he held my hand, and he held it so tightly, and he told me, looked into my eyes and told me, it's like, Nimo, he used to call me Nimo. Nimo or Toto, a 30-year-old Toto. He's just like, Nimo, let me tell you, you have your life to live, and it's going to be a good one. And you have Daniel, and he is your life right now. He is your husband, he is your best friend, he's your companion, he's everything to you right now. So me, I'm done. It's difficult to hear your dad say those words. It's basically saying goodbye, And then he went like, but I'm not done yet until you come back. So you'll come back, you'll find me here, I'll be fine, do not worry. So he held my hand, it's like holding it tightly, and then he gave me a hug, and then he told me, these days I cannot hug you that tight anymore. I don't have the energy. And I was just like, don't worry, Daddy, let me just squeeze you. And it was just such an awesome moment, 5 minutes of my life, that was my last hug, the last time I see him. And basically the time that even my sisters tell me, like, he was his strongest, because after that, he basically just went to bed and he never left, and he couldn't eat, and you just know how it goes, very bad. So my sister always says, like, I have a better memory of him because I did not see him on his last days, or basically the whole month. I felt like he was hiding so much pain when I'm around him, because he just didn't want me to see that. Because once I left, my little sister as well was in boarding school, so she didn't get to see him suffer so much. But once we left, I think he was just like, all his energies, it's like I left with his energy. And I sat on the plane to go. I could play his voice, telling me to go with my husband and telling me, remember, he needs to teach you how to fly. And I went to Germany with a certain, it's just like, why does he keep on saying this? Maybe I should do this. So I remember one time after about 3 weeks, it was just a few days before we came back. Now what I will do, I will write his progress, and then someone will tell me what's happening. So one time my mom said like, right now he's just having like 3 spoonfuls of smoothie and he does not want any more. It's too painful. And at that time, the forum said it's not going to be long. It's going to be about 2-3 days before he passes away. And I called my mom and I was just like, Mom, how is he? And my mom was like, he's not well. So I was like, okay, maybe it's just time we need to now say our goodbyes, because he's already said his goodbyes. But I was in Germany and he could not speak at that time, and put him on speaker, and I was like, hi, Dad, we're fine. I'm okay. We're doing great. Dad and I are amazing. I'm just about, I've already been thinking about coming back, although I know what's happening, but I'm just saying it. It's like, I'm coming back, so do not worry, all that. And then he said, hey, yeah, I know you're coming back soon. And I was like, yeah. And then he said, but if you don't get me here, do not worry. I will always be on top of the hill. I don't know what hill he was talking about. If you ever need me, just look on top of the hill. At my mom's, there is no hill. So after that, I just thought like, it's okay, it's time. Because then my mom picked up the phone and he said, it's okay. These days, he says things that I don't understand too. And then I think this was the next day. The next day I called my mom. I was used to call her in the morning. I was just like, how did Daddy sleep? And then she was just quiet. And I was just like, okay, you don't have to say anything, But she did. She said, he's been smiling. It was like he was staring at a wall. He was smiling. People were singing. He was trying to also sing himself or just move around. And my mom was just like, he was kind of like singing. And he had the best smile. And my mom was like, I had not seen him smile like that for a long time. And I told him, hey, why are you smiling so well? And then he said like, oh, the angels are here. And then he died a few hours later, And Mom called my sister. She's actually didn't call me. She called my sister, lives in Italy. She called her and just said like, okay, tell your sister that, your dad has passed away. And I remember it was the worst pain that was inflicted in me. So Dan, called KLM immediately, started changing our plans to come back home. And I sat on the plane. I think I slept most of it because I was just sobbing the whole way here. And then on the way, I kept on thinking. And then my husband goes like, your dad always wanted you to be a captain. You should be. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. But at that time, I'm just sobbing and just figuring out I am going home and my dad is not even home. He's somewhere else. It's just going to be my mom. So I got there and talked to my mom. I started, telling my mom, asking for stories now. My mom is just like, hey, this is what he was saying about you. This is what he was saying about you. This is what he was saying about you. And then he comes to me and is like, okay, your dad has said you have to be a pilot. That's all. You have to be. Dad needs to teach you how to fly. But I'm just like, but Dan cannot teach me how to fly. I have to go to school to learn how to fly. It's, but him is like, yeah, Dan will teach you how to fly. And then you're going to also have children. I was just like, oh, of course. So those were his wishes. And he repeated that thing that if you ever need him, look up the hill. He will be there. I think hill is just heaven. I just need to look up and call his name. It took me another 3 years to actually go to school. But these 3 years that I was still involved in, going out with my husband. I was doing photography in Masai Mara, so wildlife photography. Or I will go to the balloon and just take pictures of people, capture the experience of people in a balloon. So once I continued doing that, now I started going onto a balloon, not as a photographer, as a photographer and a passenger, but my mind is more of a captain. So I wanted to know what he's doing, what he's really. So I was asking him a lot of questions. And then he started now communicating more on what I need to do. He's just like, you see, there's hills over there. That means this kind of wind will be doing blah, blah, blah. The balloon will be reacting this way. So this is what you need to do. And then how the balloon works mostly is you feel, you need to feel it descending even before it starts. When it's just at the equilibrium, just right here, it's going to start falling. That you need to have thought about that before that happens. So I realized that it is not just about flying the aircraft. It's so many other things. It is the paths that you're going to. Is it water? Is it grass? Is it hilly? Is it bushy? Is it a forest? All those things on the ground or everything that is on the terrain affects how the aircraft will perform. I sat down, Googled, also asked my pilots around. It's like, hey, so what school did you go to? It's like, I went to the UK. What? Where did you go? I went to Spain. What? Where did you go? Went to the US. And there is this lady, she's Australian. I'm telling you, I'm not even kidding. I have known her for about, I think, 5 years. I had known her for about 5 years before I went to school. And every time, she was like my dad. The person who slaps you is like, hey, you're hanging out with us. Say, are you a pilot? I'm like, no, why? And I'm just like, because I'm not. I am a pilot's wife. And he's like, go get your license. And I'm like, okay. The next year, because she used to come for seasons, for the high season again. The next season again, we're here. Hey! Ellie, what's up? Welcome back. I was like, yes, where's your license? I'm like, no. She's like, I'm not talking to you. Third season, the same. I'm not talking to you. I'm just like, come on. And she's like, go get your license. And I was like, do you really think I can do it? I was like, you can do it. I have seen from day one. You have the passion for it. You have the courage of doing it. Go do it. And finally I was just like, okay, sawa. So I called her and I was like, Elgi, where did you go to school? I want to go there. And she said she went to this school in New Mexico, in Albuquerque, and was like, okay. So I sat down and wrote to them. And the owner of the school and examiner and instructor as well, she is a lady pilot. And I was just like, alrighty, let's do this. And then January 2018, that's when I went to America. First day of pilot training, I cried. I cried so much because I was just like, Daddy, I'm doing it finally. I am actually doing it. The whole time, even on the plane, if you imagine it's hours and hours being in the plane, if you imagine, I was not even thinking about the thoughts of my dad or stuff like that. I was just super excited I'm going to America. I was like, American dream. Nasikuji kuhepa. No sponsorship, papa. It is me coming to America myself. But so I went, and that day on my way to school, I was really sad. I was just like, I wish you're here, but I'm going to do this for you. And I'm going to do it for my husband as well, because he was just like, you're going to be great. I'm going to do it for my friend Ellie. You know, her slapping me every season. I was just like, this is it. I got my license in March. You will not believe it, that March 25th, the day that my dad died, I got my private license. I ilikuwa emotional. It didn't even hit me until I got home, because that's when my phone just pops up like, a few years ago, this is what you posted. And I was just like, what? And it became lonely all of a sudden, like split seconds. And although I have achieved something that he really wanted, something that I also learned to want. Does that even make sense? You know, I have done it, or I've done halfway. You know, I'm still chasing the commercial pilot license, but the private pilot license, I have it. And nilitaka, I wanted a hug. You know, I wanted someone from my own family, Apple, just to be happy with me. I felt like I have started to accomplish what I really want. That's when I felt like a lot of things that you will do sometimes, you're going to be by yourself. You know, there'll be a lot of people who will hold your hand, push you towards something, but it is up to you to reach to the goals, to the finish line. You stay back. So I was just like, I am almost to the finish line, but this is a journey that I had to do myself and alone. So I called my mom. I was like, hey, mimi ni pilot. She was the first one I called even before my husband. Like, mimi ni pilot. And then my mom with her Kikuyu accent and everything, she's just like, me, I told you. Even your dad was saying me. I was just like, please stop, first of all. Stop, because I can't. And then she did not, also she had not realized that it was actually the day that he died. And I said, Mom, can you imagine? Or it's like, do you realize today is when Daddy passed away? And then she was just silent herself. And then she said, it is a sign. It is a sign. Umebarikiwa, niko tu amina. Yeah. And yeah, that was my first license as a hot air balloon pilot, or you can call it lighter than air. And then, that was not the end. Now I have gotten it, the pilot license. So I have to do a few classes, and then I have to fly by myself now to get used to the balloon, make my own mistakes without anybody in it, because now I am chasing the commercial pilot license. So I have to, go through more procedures, tougher procedures actually. And I went through them like a champ and came back home flying that Nini. I'm just like, Daddy, I'm here, and it was just amazing to come back home with the commercial pilot license. So in October 20th, I got my commercial pilot license for balloons, Kenyan. I was so proud of it. So good. The reason why I was very proud of it is because by then I realized that I'm actually the first Kenyan woman who has a balloon license. There's no any other woman who's done it, or female who's done it. And it was amazing. But I was like, it's not about just having a license. Am I practicing? Now I have a license now, but even the process of getting into a balloon and taking 12 people, 16 people onto the balloon, it's not about what my husband told me. It's not about what my dad told me or what my dad wanted. It is me. Am I ready to be responsible for people in the aircraft, around the aircraft, and the aircraft itself? So I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this. So I got a job. I went into it, and it has been fantastic. Sadly, we started operating, my first commercial flight was November 2019. So it was quite nice, good, catching up, shika routine, do it, and then boom, COVID, we're shut down in March. So I was just like, hey, it's like never picking up. It's like I've never, neither. And I really, so we're locked down in March, and nothing much I can do at that time. All my baskets are in one, all my eggs are in one basket. Guess where? Called tourism. My basket is tourism. If you remember back, like I studied hospitality and tourism management, and then I had a travel agency and, went into ballooning, which is 100% tourism still. And then March, everything is shut down. No more tourists coming. And I was like, should I have just been a farmer? What we'll still eat? Should I have just been a farmer? I felt like, when am I going to get a break? But this time it's like the whole world. As like the world is So I held on to our company. I spoke to my bosses and my stakeholders. I was just like, it is tough, but let us hold on. We're going to start again. When it starts, it starts. Lakini, let me tell you, my Kenyans came through. When the international clients didn't come, we did not stop flying, because Kenyans came to fly with me. They saw the I don't know, it's the potential, or maybe the adrenaline junkies, ama sijui nini, but I just want to say that I didn't see this coming. I think all of us didn't see COVID coming, but I did not see, I didn't think that Kenyans will come in masses like they did. And it's been amazing till the lockdown last week. So I'm just like, to survive, So at the end of it all, it's all about following even someone else's dream. It does not need to be your dream. It can be someone else's dream. But it is a dream towards your life, and your goals. And follow your path, follow your dreams, and work hard. Nothing comes easy, and especially when you find yourself, you are alone. Is that even proper English? Sometimes English inakuwaga ngumu. If you find yourself that you are following a certain path, and what people like, it's like a leaf in a drop. People are just leaving you, but they're not leaving you because they don't care about your dreams, or they're not pushing you. Ama wanasaidia kusukuma. They have done their part. The rest of it is for you to do it alone. And do not give up. Finish it. Let it not work, but you have something to show that you actually did it. Yeah.
Thanks for watching this episode. Remember, you can catch new Legally Clueless video episodes every Friday and new audio episodes every Monday.